Today I have a layout for Rainbow Crush that is hosted by Tara O. York over on the Paper Snob community. And I'm also using this sketch from Kathy, who is part of our Scrapbook Crafternoon team. She created this for 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. So I wanted to use that, and I knew I couldn't do two layouts today. I am really behind after last week. So I'm kind of one day at a time here, and there's no way I could do two videos in one day. So I committed to both, and I really wanted to do them. So I am going to do that. I am also continuing with my June focus with old plus new. So my new products are the 49 and Market rub-ons there. That's from the toddler collection. The only thing I ordered from that toddler collection are 3 sets of rub-ons. And then I'm also pulled out the Pretty Little Studio You Are My Sunshine. So I have some old basic gray. I had that old glitz design. That one right there was from 2009. This is a Lawn Fawn 2013 maybe. No, 2017 for this. And then, yeah, some of the other papers that I pulled to use from the You Are My Sunshine collection from Pretty Little Studio. It's not brand new, but I'm still considering that new. And then these, of course, are my olds. So I've already used that blue basic gray. You saw that if you watched the Scrapbook Crafternoon layout. It was a Mother's Day layout. I used that to back my wreath that I did, the wreath cut file. And today it's going to be on this. So I'm choosing these colors because the rainbow in the rub-ons had orange, yellow, green, blue, and it has 2 blues at the end. I couldn't find another blue, and I wanted to use these photos. Actually, I'm kind of kicking myself, to be perfectly honest. These photos were just taken. I thought it would work, and I went with it because I was a little bit in a rush trying to decide, and I just really, really wanted to use this design, and that's where my focus kind of was. So anyway, I really wish I would have done some of my ARC photos. The ARC Encounter, it's over in Kentucky, almost to Ohio, close to Cincinnati, and we went there last summer, and why I didn't think of those photos. It would have been perfect for our focus for Rainbow Crush this time, which is rainbow. That would have been the best one to do, and anyway, I did not. So I digress. I forgot where I was even talking about these photos. Okay, so my daughter just took these photos and sent them to me because as Carly was playing on the trampoline, she's jumping and has her tongue out. And we, of course, think that's hilarious because her older brother also constantly has his tongue out when he's like playing soccer or whatever. And I can't believe these kids don't bite their tongue. I would for sure. I'm not coordinated enough, obviously. But anyway, she thought it was funny, and I thought they were the cutest pictures, so I just went ahead and decided to use those. And I'm adding in it's not really red, because red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. I decided to add in this, I'm calling my red, which is more of a salmon color. All of the colors that I'm using for this rainbow are muted and soft, and I really love how it turned out. I could have gone bright colors. I had lots of bright colored stuff. I have rainbows on paper and all of those things, but I really wanted to use this sketch because, Kathy did it, so I wanted to do it. So I'm using this kind of salmon-y color. It kind of goes with the color that she's wearing, which is kind of pinky salmon-y color. So I'm adding that in, but I'm also using that as my red for the rainbow. And the rainbows that I'm rub-ons that I'm going to be adding don't have that color, but I think it still worked because I added it in just a few places. So I'm calling it good and I like how it turned out. So I did Kathy's sketch had two photos and they were kind of situated like I have here. Um, I went with three and I printed them in this fun, um, you know, taller, skinnier little strips, and that's one of the options on my Epson PictureMate. Um, it's a 5x7, and and it prints all three pictures. And I like to do those sometimes. I just think they're a really fun size to scrapbook, so that's why I did that. The rub-ons, I wish I would have left that rainbow up there on the yellow because honestly it looks better on the yellow once it's rubbed on. It fades out so much on the two darker colors. And I knew it would, obviously it's a rub-on, so I knew it would kind of take on the color that's underneath it a little bit. And I wanted one rub-on in each of the colors, and that's fine. You can still tell it's a rainbow and it still looks really pretty, but it looks so beautiful on the yellow. I kind of wish I would have left the big rainbow on the yellow. So this is one of my favorite papers from this collection, and here I'm cutting it all up, and I kind of wish I had another sheet. I hope I do. I didn't look through to make sure. I'm sure I'll still find uses for what's left because I hated to cut into a full sheet for this, but it just, I needed it, and I really like how it turned out, so it's fine. I'll find a use for those other strips, and maybe they'll work out too, even though I kind of cut some out of the middle here. I'm adding that salmony color at the top. Kathy had two strips on each side, kind of going under the torn paper bits. What I'm going to end up doing is adding two strips to the top and the bottom as well, and just one strip on each side. I like how it kind of framed out the whole layout. It was just a unique way to just add like a little frame around the whole layout, and I thought that was kind of fun. So I did do the top and bottom like she did the two sides, and then I just did one strip on each of the sides. And I like it. It worked out for me. So a little variation from the sketch, but there's going to be several here. You can already see that my embellishments don't look like what she had on the sketch. I did kind of tear the paper around for my photo mats, which she had done, and I liked how that looked. I never have any problems tearing paper, I'll be honest with you. I do love torn paper, so it worked out fine. I failed to turn I didn't want to show me distressing each of these little strips because I had already shown that with the border. So I turned the camera off and then I started my rub-ons, and I forgot to turn it back on until I got to the last one. But I'm sure you know how to rub on your rub-ons. These are the 49 and Market ones. They're super easy. You could probably rub them on with your finger, to be honest. They are so easy to rub on. And I just use the applicator that I have sitting on my desk that I use for everything, any kind of rub-ons, and they go on beautifully. They're just beautiful. Can't say enough good things about 49 and Market rub-ons, that's for sure. Okay, and so I'm adding in my little strips. I'm going to get to this top one here and decide that, it's pretty like it is, but since I had done the bottom one like Kathy did in her sketch, I decided I wanted to do that one the same. And so I went ahead and cut it apart, and then here we go, distressing again with my fingernail. I do that especially for small pieces. I'll just use my fingernail instead of using, I know a lot of people cringe at that, instead of using a distressing tool, which I have probably 5 of, and I do use, and it does give you a little bit different look than what you get when you use your fingernail. But when I'm doing something super thin like this, it's really just easier just to use my fingernail. So that is what I did. So you can see my little strips in both places. Now the green didn't get a strip, so I thought, well, that would be fun to add another little border like I had that salmon color up at the top. So I just got a little mini one and since I didn't have to have a 12-inch one, since it's going to go underneath the photos anyway, I chose this little green one, and I like how that looked. It did, however, make me have to tear this little hill over here a little bit straighter, so that worked out fine. It is now way off compared to the other side. I'm not going to lie, that does bother me just a little bit. I don't normally mind having hills and things, but because of where the photo placement was, it's quite a bit different. I don't know. It's fine. I did add in at the end some lawn or freckled fawn little puffy hearts. Some people like enamel dots. I am crazy about puffy hearts, and they can go on every layout because love, right? I love it. So this is my completed layout. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have in the description box everyone who is playing along with both of these hops. There are playlists for both, so all you have to do is click that link and it will just take you to lots of gorgeous inspiration. Thanks a lot, and I will be back again to have another layout for you very soon. Bye-bye.